Today I'm going to be trying something new, right? I recently got this, which is the liquid manure, horse liquid manure. So I'm going to be trying this on the plants and see how it does. As most of you guys know, what I tend to use on the garden is chicken manure. I want to try this out. If it does well, good. If it doesn't do well, then I'll kind of know if it's worthwhile. There's a bit of a rave about horse manure right now. A lot of people are saying that it's pretty good and it's better than chicken manure. I need to actually shake this well before I use it. The mixture I'm going to have is 2 cups of this mixed in the bucket with some water. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. It does have a smell. So this is the color. I don't know if you can see the color. It does have a bit of color. It does have a bit of smell as well, but it's not that bad, right? You can tell that it's like some organic. It's got some rich earth smell to it, right? It's not terrible. Yeah. So the thing is, there's no guidance on how to mix this with the water, so I'm just freestyling the whole thing and seeing what works. Okay. Sometimes you just have to do that, just to get stuff done. For your plants to grow healthy, it's important that you feed them as often as possible. Ideally every 2 weeks, right? Because you want to make sure that they do grow very, very well and have lush green leaves, as you can see here, right? But of course, when it gets closer to the point of them producing flowers, you want to ensure that you kind of change up what you're feeding them. In this case, as you saw with the horse manure, that has a lot of nitrogen, but as they get closer to producing flowers and producing fruits, you want to make sure that you reduce the amount of nitrogen that the plant is getting and switching that up with something that has more potassium and phosphorus to encourage more flower development and also fruit setting. Because if you want to have a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, you want to ensure that you feed them the right thing at the right time. So while they're growing, it's good you feed them a lot of nitrogen, right? But when they start producing flowers and they're producing fruits, then switch it up a bit to have more phosphorus and potassium. Okay, so that's something you really want to make sure you do not mix up when you're gardening. All right. You can see the cucumbers are doing pretty well, and they're getting to a stage where it's time to start pruning them, and also staking them as well. You can see the development as well. There's a lot of offshoots, which, I mean, it's not that bad, but I really do not want to have offshoots off the main plant, because I want the main production to just be on one plant. As some of you may know, cucumbers are very fond of having aunties and uncles and cousins and nephews all growing out of them, right? But if you want the main family to, that's the main plant, the main family, to grow very well and produce as much fruit as possible, it's important that things like this one right here, you want to clip them off, right? So that the focus is on the main plant itself and not on the extended family. Okay, so as you can see as well, all of them tend to have all of this, so it's gonna be a pruning season pretty soon. I'm gonna just let this grow a little bit more before I start pruning them. Right, as you can see, you can start seeing the flowers as well as starting to come through right there. I don't know if you can see it. So yeah, and this is all due to the fact that they are well fed. So because of how well fed they are, they feel that they should produce more shoots, but I do not want that. I'm also going to work on getting these staked up, because I do not want the plants to grow on the floor. As you know, cucumbers tend to kind of just, they whine, right? They whine and vine out. And in this case, if I leave them this way, what would happen is they would just grow out of the bag and just whine on the floor, which I do not want, because that would get them more susceptible to diseases and pests as well. So what would happen is I'm going to have a trellising system to kind of guide them to grow upwards and help them have a well structured and ventilated growth. Okay, then for the poppers, as you can see, they are doing extremely well because they're being fed fed well as well. I'm gonna find another home for these ones down here. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, about four smaller ones in here. So I'm gonna find a new home for these ones because I want this to have as less competition as possible while growing here. So we'll keep this one in here, and then we're gonna take these ones out of here into their own separate pots, right? There's also another one growing in here. I don't know how this one got here, but it's here. So we're gonna find another home for this one as well. Then the lemon and orange, they're still the same way they were last time, and I'm sure it's gonna take a good number of years before we see anything tangible from these guys, right? Yeah, but that's generally it. There's not much going on apart from these guys. Let me show you the new set of seeds that we started. So for the new set of seeds that we started, they're just right here. Not a lot seems to be going on right now. As you can see, they're still not yet out. I'm actually not sure why that's the case. This is quite unusual, but I'm just gonna give it a couple more days. So maybe 3, 4 more days, and then hopefully we should start seeing some sprouting. Okay, so that's the general gist of what's going on here right now. Everything seems to be going on pretty well, and yeah, so I think I might harvest these pretty soon. Actually, I might harvest the ginger pretty soon. They've been here for quite some time, and I think ideally after like 5, 6 months is when you want to harvest these, and I think they've gone past the 6 months mark, right? Because this were put in mid of last year, and I think, yeah, it's about time to get this out and see what they've done. So maybe by the next video you'd see what comes out of these. All right, so stay tuned. Okay guys, that's going to be it. I'd like to say a huge thank you for staying all the way to the end. Make sure you like the video if you liked it. Make sure you also subscribe to the account, and stay tuned to what we're doing in here. We're trying to, of course, build something very special. So join the adventure and watch us grow a garden in a city. All right, so like the video, subscribe, share it as well, and would really appreciate that. Okay, see you guys in the next video. Take care.